What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're going through the main series of game modes, having a look at all the free-to-play characters, and looking at which of these free-to-play characters is going to be the most worthwhile character to be maxing first. Because I know that we always are going to have new players joining the game, and a lot of people are always going to ask which of the characters from Treasure Map, Kizuna, etc. should I be investing in first. And that's what we're aiming to answer today. We're going to have a look at all of the free-to-play Kizuna characters that have released up until this point, rank them, and see which units are ultimately worth picking up with your Kizuna insignia, because we know that they are relatively difficult to get a hold of, and you shouldn't really be just spending them however you like. You really should be investing in the right characters to ensure that you have the better characters ready for the content at hand. So let's go ahead and jump into things here. We've got Bato, which was just a support character. I believe he attaches to Luffy and halves damage. Nothing crazy there. So let's go ahead and just say, you probably shouldn't bother with this. I've never needed to use the support for it. Maybe for one thing randomly back in the day, but haven't really used him too much. Zoro and Sanji, ultimately at this point, are just a bad unit. You probably shouldn't waste your time with them. Perospero is amazing, and the only real reason why you want to get him is because of his support effect. Attaching to a Cerebral, when you use the special, you lock the Cerebral character slots for one turn. It works for the whole team that's Cerebral. It's just ridiculous. It's so valuable, sees a lot of play, very, very good. I'm not going to say it's like a must get, but it's really focusing in on if you use Cerebral characters, you may want to have a look at it. So we've got Margaret coming up. Margaret is like she's not a bad unit, but she's definitely not a good unit either. She's like around here because her support mainly just gives you a quick slot. It's nothing crazy. That's the only real reason she's used. Her special does provide an orb boost, I think, to strength, dex, and quick, but it's nothing really too crazy. Boa Hancock is relatively bad in today's day and age. Magellan is interesting, but not amazing. He just provides a conditional boost, and he, continuously poisons every time you enter a new stage. It's a unique special, I'll say that, but it's not something that sees a lot of play. Sabo, also not a very good unit. Shirahoshi, I'd say, is actually pretty good. Multi-turn orb booster for Sign Int. More matching slots is also pretty useful. I'd say Okiku's pretty good. Double special activation, getting around paralysis, and I think bind as well. Okiku's just super solid. I think Ace and Marco are still okay, but, the thing is like their special ability is getting less and less valuable, like every few, new chunks of batches of legends that we get. Like every time we get a new Super Sugo Fest exclusive, it definitely makes other characters seem less powerful because, all these multipliers are getting way more crazier in today's day and age. So seeing characters such as this, who on release was probably one of the most broken free-to-play characters in the game, 2.75 attack to strength units, and then I think it's 2.75 attack to strength units, and now we've seen today, you don't really need a character like this that much anymore, but still sees a little bit of niche usage as a sub. The switch effect, allowing you to change badly matching slots to strength on your strength units, I believe, so it's actually pretty valuable, but doesn't see too much play. Koala's not that useful. Moria is okay. We got Jigoro, who is a support. He's just terrible. Don't even worry about it. Big Mom is interesting. I believe she removes all beneficial effects, which is kind of nice to have a character that can do that. But then she applies her own attack boost and her own color affinity boost. So you can't remove beneficial effects and then apply whatever boost you want. You have to use Big Mom's boosts, which aren't always valuable enough. Carrot is pretty cool because I believe she gets rid of all enemies' blue shield, increased defense, and she's also a chain booster, and I think she's also an attack booster as well. She has a lot of really cool stuff, but doesn't really see a lot of play, unfortunately. But at least Carrot has a couple of really cool support, so keep an eye out for that. Now, Luffy and Hancock, I think, are probably must max. Now, the reason for it is they give you a full border slots, they lock them, they're a damage dealing special, but they also give a 2.25 color affinity to Psi and Int. Very cool unit, even on release was absolutely broken, and I'd still say is still a relatively broken unit. You don't see too many color affinity specials that come out that really go above and beyond, a 2.25. 2.25 is still a very good color affinity boost. You cannot discredit that. And especially if you are more free-to-play focused or you're more of a newer player, I think Luffy and Hancock are going to help your account out a lot. We got Kaido. Do not even bother with him. He is terrible. I think Buggy is ridiculously good. Buggy's very, very good. He gets rid of Bind Despair Paralysis. He allows you to get a full board of slots if your captain is Free Spirit. Very simple special, but a very good special. And then we got these guys. These guys, I would say, look, in a vacuum, Sakazuki and Borsalino are actually very good, but this is coming from me. I have never ever used this character. Ever since this character came out, I have never found a situation where I've been like, hey yo, you know, Akainu and Borsalino, they've been the guy to use. I need this character to beat this content. I've never had that situation. This unit is interesting, but I can't really recommend you guys to pick him up. He just doesn't see a lot of play. We got Kid though. Kid's actually pretty nice. You know, okay free-to-play captain, but the main reason why you'd want him is because of his end-of-turn damage, allowing you to wave clear specials very quickly. His special is essentially ready to go when you start a quest. Kid's very good. Can't really say much more about him. He's just a really solid unit overall. We've got Hawkins though. Hawkins is just a bad unit. He gives you a little bit of utility, I suppose, but he's nothing too crazy. Capone is also relatively interesting, allowing you to get an attack boost. He locks your slots. He changes your slots to badly matching, if I remember correctly. Like whatever, and then whatever color your captain is, he gives an attack boost to that color or whatever it was. This Capone's very weird. He's got a weird and wacky effect, but doesn't see too much play, unfortunately. Nami, Robin are very solid, you know, good utility, and they're also an orb booster, so they're pretty solid. King, probably a bad unit, you know, adjacent slots matching, and then after your combo, whatever it is, when you go past the 12th hit in the combo chain, you get a 2.25 attack boost to quick. Just not really valuable enough. Same with Dofi. Like, Dofi just doesn't really provide enough to the team. He gives you a little bit of utility, I suppose, getting around enemy defensive effects. He gives you slots. He also extends the duration of your chain locking effects, which does count chain boundary. So the main like key where I would use this would be like with versus Akainu, and then you use versus Akainu special, then you can use Dofi special to extend the duration of Akainu's chain lock that he gives you. So some cool stuff you can do with it, but it's not that valuable. I think Katakuri is very good utility. Very, very solid unit overall. And it's my boy Mr. Slam Jam, right? My boy Mr. Slam Jam's a beast. And here we go with another unit. I think this unit is also probably a must-max, another Boa Hancock unit. So the Kuja Pirates are very cool because they can give you good utility in getting around enemy defensive effects. They also provide an attack boost, and they also give you a delayed conditional boost that can go past enemy immunity buffs. So because they provide all of that in one single free-to-play character, they're honestly pretty good. Remember, this is a 5+ unit, so you do have to purchase the Super Evolution Skulls alongside the character to get this character to the 5+ form. Next, we've got Brook, another very solid unit. He's got great utility effects, and he's also an attack and an orb booster for Sign Free Spirit. Very, very nice. I think Jack is a must-max character, specifically if you end up using Super Tandem Kaido. Having access to this Jack is going to be very nice because he obviously triggers the Super Tandem effect. He can trigger the Super Tandem effect and also the Super type as well, or the Super class, should we say. And also, just the unit itself is very good in getting around paralysis, attack down, and there's a color affinity for multiple turns. So you can use him on a stage 2 in a Kizuna, move into the last stage. You can use him on a stage 3 for his utility and color affinity buffs. Jack is just a solid unit all around, especially with Kaido. If you're not using Kaido too much, you may not want to invest in Jack right now, but in general, Jack is very good. I think Ivankov is also very solid, good orb changing effects, and is an attack booster, I want to say, but also could be an orb booster. Pretty sure it's an attack booster to Cerebral and Free Spirit. Really, really good. And then we got Olin, or Linlin, however you want to say it. Big Mom from Wano. She's also very good. Gets around a lot of really annoying pesky gimmicks from the enemy by 6 turns. Same with Jack. He gets around those pesky gimmicks by 6 turns. And Big Mom also provides an orb boost, and she also changes slots into Semler, which is kind of cool, but she's an orb booster for Int-driven Powerhouse, I want to say, for 3 turns. Olin is very solid. Rebecca's, I think, actually pretty good. I've used her recently. She gets she allows you to get around some, you know, certain gimmicks, and she also gives you defense down. She can give you defense down conditional. She is a chain booster. Rebecca's actually very solid. Creek Pirates, unfortunately, haven't really used too much of them. There haven't been too many circumstances where I'm like, yeah, man, Creek Pirates are that guy. Nah, they're not really that guy at all. I haven't used them too much. And they do get around bind and stuff like that. Like, they got some cool gimmick stuff, but it's like nothing that's unique to a lot of characters in the game. Like, they've got some just very generic stuff that a lot of people have. So I can't really recommend the Creek Pirates, unfortunately. They're not that great. Zoro Sanji are pretty good. They actually inflict increased damage taken. No, I think they do inflict increased damage taken. They're also a chain boundary unit, which is the key thing about Zoro and Sanji. But of course, it is a Zoro and Sanji, so you've got a bit of overlap with some other key units that you may want to use on your team. So it is dependent on some of the characters you have in your character box. But Zoro Sanji, very, very good. And we've got Blackbeard. Dude, Blackbeard is ridiculously good. He is another one of these units that has a really high stage 3 cooldown, but you don't need the stage 3 special for him to actually be good. Stage 2 special is perfectly fine, but if you somehow become in a situation where you have his stage 3 special ready, it is insane how good it actually is. Being able to remove enemy buffs by 1 turn sometimes is all you need in order to get around certain effects. So I love this Blackbeard. He's ridiculous and is definitely one of the best free-to-play units in the game. He is so good. Chopper is also a very good free-to-play unit, getting around a lot of gimmicks. He's also a very good support, attaching to some of those minks from Zoe and allowing you to get around poison. So just always nice to have poison removal supports, especially if they introduce more gimmicks with poison slots. Really, really nice stuff. And then we got Orochi. Orochi's just a bad unit. You're never going to use him. He did come out with that support of the Oni Wabanshu, but even those characters with Orochi didn't really provide enough, in my opinion. They're just not that good. Free-to-play Roger, I'd probably say, is pretty close to a must-max, and the main reason for that is because this Roger has a very good free-to-play captain. He is a super type or a super class. I think he's a super class unit. So a free-to-play unit with a very good captain for a free-to-play, and his special is relatively okay. He does have double special activation. He gets around enemy gimmicks, so you have up to 6 turns of these gimmick removals. He's a base attack booster. He's just a great character all-round, though I'm not saying he's on the same level as Blackbeard, for example, in terms of usefulness, but I think that this Roger is just another character that you want to have relatively high up on your tier to max out. And then we've got a couple characters left. I think that the Magellan and Hannibal, like, they're just fine. Like, I've never really needed to use this character too much. And we got the Luffy. This free-to-play Luffy is very good. He gets around a lot of gimmicks, and he can captain swap. So if you have a team that is focused around specifically Psy-typing, but of course he has a little bit of overlap because he is a Luffy character, which obviously isn't very good. But the Luffy's very solid, and he's been very useful in more recent content because he's been a boosted unit, but he's obviously helped a lot with getting around the content too. Remember, it is a Luffy character. He gets access to very, very good supports too. And then the last character is the Film Red Shanks. Now, as of the recording of this video, this character hasn't officially released yet, but going off what his gimmicks do, he is ridiculous, and I would say is probably a must-max character. The main reason for it is because he does have Super Tandem, and the Super Tandem is relatively easy to proc, giving you a free attack boost to Psy characters, and the utility in his special is also very good. He has slight orb change in his special. He has a very usable free-to-play captain, I would say. So I would say, you know, if you are a newer player or you don't have a lot of good side characters in general, then Shanks is going to be your man. He's going to be a very nice character to add to your account. But with all of that, that's pretty much the rundown of all of the free-to-play Kizuna characters. Obviously, a lot of the characters near the top are all the relatively recent ones because they just seem to be the best ones. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up from us. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.